Hey everybody, today is Friday, July 10th. I am going to share a mid-year review for you guys. It's going to be Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, SIMI Valley, and Moorpark. We got some nice line graphs. Let's take a look and show you guys what is going on. All right, so we see that right here on this graph, this is January of 2026. And if you go back here, you see that's July and June of 2025. So you kind of get a bearings of where we're at. All right, so right now we're looking at the median sales prices. The red line is Westlake Village, the blue line is Thousand Oaks, the green line is Simi Valley, and the gray line is Moorpark. And you can see that in March, for the most part, with the exception of Thousand Oaks, everything started kind of declining. That's when the war started. So we're definitely seeing a decline in prices. Some areas up to 10% in our local markets. All right. So that's sales prices. All right. Then a very interesting stat also that I want to share with you guys is days active in the MLS. All right. So this was January. Things were going pretty good. The market was starting to roll. Houses were selling and they were starting to sell a little bit faster as you see the line go down. And then in March, the war started, and then we start getting the April numbers and the May numbers and the June numbers. And you can see that it's really taking a lot longer to get things sold right now than it was. However, if you go back at this point last year, you see that for Simi and Moorpark and Thousand Oaks, it was a little bit less. It's definitely gone up. But for Westlake, it's gone way up, way up. And then here's another interesting stat related to active days. Here's the showings number. Okay, so you can see that in March, the amount of showings per listing was down. Then it started climbing. And now it's taking longer to sell and there's less showings. You can see by that graph. All right, now let's go back more into price. Um, let's take a look at what homes are selling for compared, the median compared to their original listing price. You can see that in March and April, things were starting to climb. And then by May, we're starting to see things fall. Okay. So homes are selling for less than their original listing price. And then for homes that have sat on the market and had a reduction, you can see that in Westlake Village, especially, we are seeing prices fall. And that is due in large part to the large luxury market in Westlake Village that is really taking a beating in price right now. Okay. Thousand Oaks, you see it happening a little bit, and Moorpark, we're seeing it drop pretty much the same. All right, let's look at price per square foot. This is the median. Westlake Village is going down. You can see from January it started going up. February, March, this is when the war started, and that's when we started to see the market kind of change. And right now we're seeing prices falling, with the exception of Thousand Oaks and Simi, where we see slight increases. And that, in my opinion, is due to affordability. There are more affordable neighborhoods in those areas, and we're seeing homes in those markets selling a little bit faster and for a little bit more money. All right, let's take a look at months of supply. All right, now you see here we are in January. We had a pretty balanced market in January, and then inventory started picking up and it kept growing and growing, and now here we are. And if you compare this to last year, we had a huge boom of inventory last year. You can see that this is January of 2025. Inventory dramatically increased and it peaked around July of last year. So right now, we have a little bit less inventory than we did uh, in that time of this time last year, but homes are not selling as quickly right now. Okay, let's take a look at the amount of active listings. You see that the listings are growing, and that's in conjunction with the months of supply. Okay, so basically, what we're looking at here, guys, is we're looking at a market that is adjusting its prices There are less buyers out there right now, which means if you're a buyer, this is a great opportunity for you because there is more inventory out there. Okay, if you're a buyer that's on the fence, and then sellers, in order to get their properties sold, they are having to reduce their price if they didn't come out with a very aggressive price, and they're having to make deals. It's just the way it is right now. So if you have any thoughts about buying, selling, or investing, please give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I have the strategies that will help you get the best deal if you're a buyer. I also have the strategies that will get you the best price if you're a seller. Okay. You're just going to have to trust me on this because what's happening is we're having a price war beauty contest in a market like this, where in order to sell, you've got to be priced at the bottom 10% of your competition, and your condition has to be in the top 10%. All right. So give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to tell you more. I'm Josh Brenner with Compass right here in Westlake Village, California. Homes are still selling. There are buyers out there. It's never a bad time to get into a California real estate market and get yourself a house. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to get some exercise today, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.